Very good afternoon, everyone. Very good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar, Digibank-in-a-box. My name is Roslan. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing of Infopro, and I will be the moderator for this event. Once again, welcome to the exciting moment for the banking industries. Many of our daily routines have changed due to COVID-19, be it our daily activities of interaction. Businesses are conducted in a different approach. We have less physical touch. Standard operating procedure has been altered in response to COVID-19. Contactless and online transaction is no longer a stranger to us. It is not only the norm for the business entity, instead, it is a compulsory for survival. Since change is unavoidable, your abilities to adapt to changes determine your success in the future. The question is, are you ready to be a player in the digital transformation? When we talk about the banking industries, it is not hard to notice that the banking ecosystem is changing. Customers tend to do online and contactless transactions and avoid visiting physical branches as much as possible. The trend of banking is shifting away from traditional methods. Banks and FIs are in great challenge, trying to meet the customer's demand, finding ways to grow fast enough to capture the business opportunity and to capture many unserved and unbanked markets at the same time. Governments in many countries have taken initiative to license up digital bank. Lawmakers are improving the current bills to fit in the changes. Licenses are being awarded to non-traditional players. Hailing companies, service providing companies, telecommunication companies are now the main contender for digital banks. Many potential applicants for digital banks need to source for experts to provide them solution consultation. The processes are lengthy and challenging. Setting up digital banking platform will be time-consuming as all parties involved will have different perspectives. With these three main contributors involved in offering solutions to banking industries, we have come hand in hand to ensure digitalization of bank is done at ease and quickly. Are you ready for all-in-one package, including consultation, solution, and technologies? Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the launching of Digibank-in-a-box, a comprehensive digital bank platform by Infopro, cloud provider by TM1, cloud technologies by Huawei. Before we invite our speakers today, we have some exciting news for you. You are entitled to book an exclusive one-to-one virtual consultation with us. Feel free to inquire about Digibank-in-a-box, architectural, deployment best practices, and collaboration in the market program in this 20-minute consultation service. Flash on the screen is the QR code. All you need to do is scan the QR code and you'll be taken on to our site for registration purpose. Without further ado, let me present you the speakers for today webinar. Mr. Chong NK is the Chief Digital Officer from Infopro. Mr. Chong NK is a technology innovation advocate who specializes in technology enablement, digital transformation, and innovation across the financial industries. He works with both incumbents and new challenger banks in the strategic proposition and digitalization. We have Mr. Sheng, is the head of FSI technology of Huawei Cloud Malaysia. He is a technical expert in the Fintech space. He works with financial services and insurance providers to develop innovative market models that generate new revenue opportunities by using digital technologies such as cloud computing, big data, and artificial intelligence. Our next speaker is Mohd Ghadaffi bin Mohd Tairobi, who is the Vertical Director of Banking and Finance Sales at TM1. He has been working with Telecom Malaysia for about 18 years, being involved with TM's project management and product management in the initial years. He expanded his experience by being in the solution team for banking and finance, and for the last 8 years, maintained being in sales division, banking and finance at TM1. Our last speaker for this afternoon is Dr. Kelly Wee. Dr. Kelly Wee is the Sales and Marketing Worldwide Director for Infopro. He is responsible for global sales and marketing through evangelizing the visions, mission, objective, and benefits of Infopro core banking and digital banking technologies, as well as offering technical management and support to multinational banks and financial institutions towards digital transformation, which is aligning with Industrial Revolution 4.0. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand over the floor to Mr. Chong EK to share with us his thoughts on the digital bank. Mr. EK.
Thank you, Ruslan. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, can you see my screens?
Yes, Mr. EK.
Okay, welcome to everyone on this event. Okay, we are very happy to actually have you here together with us at this exciting moment to launch the Digibank-in-a-box together with a collaboration from Infopro, TM1 together with Huawei. Okay, so I will share with you how we actually model this entire Digibank-in-a-box by putting in our AI-driven digital banking platforms as a solutions that actually runs entirely onto the TM Cloud Alpha Edge, okay, which is entirely hosted in Malaysia, okay. So do allows me to actually take a couple of moments to share with you who we are as the Infopro, where we are specialized in banking for over 34 years, okay. For the last 3 decades or more, we are focusing on the core banking and enterprise systems, and where we actually venture into a digital customers experience the past decade. And in the last 2 years, we embarked on the cloud banking and AI, so that we created our AI-driven digital banking platforms, okay, for the benefit of the next generations of banking solutions. Now, Infopro has a strong belief in quality. That's why we appraise ourselves by CMMI at the highest level, level 5, where we actually provide you assurance on the quality in terms of software development, as well as the project and service delivery, okay? So as you have seen just now in some of the slides, where we have actually been trusted by 100 over customers across 32 countries. As a Malaysian companies with a broad global experience, we believe our experience will help you to actually create a better and more innovative products, which is more suitable for the financial inclusion. But in this case, we are targeting on the underserved and unserved markets in Malaysia. Okay. Now, these are some of our customers where we serve Maybank, IHB, Development Bank of Sarawak, RCE Capital, Toyota Capital Services. These are some of the names from the local customers, and where at the same time we have largely our customers are from overseas. Okay, so with our experience in banking, so definitely we will help you to provide some valuable insight and to discuss with you on the proper digitalization strategies that align to your business plan. Okay. So now we move into this digital. Today, digital banks is everywhere, but unlikely that we see something very uniquely applicable in Malaysia yet. So, and the good news is Bank Negara is going to issue 5 licenses soon. Okay, that's where we are here today with you. Okay, so when we look into the digital banks, so what do we expect? So we are expecting something that is supposedly to be something more fully digital, having a better customer engagement, provide better efficiencies in servicing to the customers, and also probably a more innovative in terms of service offering as well as pricing. Okay, now how this can be done? Okay, it is actually a combination between the business strategy as well as the technology enablement. So we bring to you the beauty of the both sides. Okay, I'll explore this further with you in the other slides. Okay. Now, coming back to the digital banks, so basically it is already in these regions, in particular Southeast Asia. We have seen so many brands, so many new greenfield digital banks. Okay, so you may find many of these are some familiar names to you in different countries, where, okay, like what I mentioned earlier, we see that a trending from respective countries, central banks, where they are actually looking into setting our digital bank frameworks to govern, to ensure the proper use and operations of a newborn digital banks. Okay, so from there we saw that Hong Kong already actually pushed through 8 banks went live last year, and Singapore is going to actually expecting another 4 new banks next year, which operates entirely under this digital banks license. And Malaysia's, we are here. So we are at the juncture for the submissions of the application by end of June. Okay, so this is where we are here today to assist you. So look at what we can offer to you as a Digibank-in-a-box. This is something that allowing you to go to the market quickly, okay, with our local expertise and the global experience. Okay, at the same time, we work with some other potential banks in Philippines and Indonesia also in setting up a similar agenda. Okay. So if you deep dive into the digital banks landscapes, you will realize that typically, for example, A-Star in Hong Kong, it is backed by Xiaomi and AMTT Group. And you will see where typically they are offering a high interest rates. They are offering an instant account opening and instant loans approval and the kind of efficiencies, okay, and the competitive pricings to the customers. And we see this across many of our other similar banks, okay, in the regions, okay. Now we have also others like Fusion Banks, which is backed by Tencent, ICBCs, and Hong Kong Exchange. And we also see some WeLab Bank, which formerly they were Hong Kong's first online consumer credit lending platforms, a fintech that venture into upgrading themselves into a banking license. Okay, and we see this is very often. Okay, you can see the similar approach taken by many other fintechs or big tech company. Okay. Mohd is another classic example of a traditional banks trying to rebrand themselves to target into a different market segments. Okay, in this case, Standard Chartered have created Mohd for this purpose in Hong Kong, and we see UOB created Tomorrow to penetrate into the new markets in Thailand as well as Indonesia. So in Tomorrow, they are taking a very strategy by gamify the customer experience through the banking. Okay. Another example is where this Cartel is a bank in Philippines which is owned by RCBC, and they managed to actually acquire 1 million downloads within 30 days after they launched the service during the pandemic. While during the lockdown, they managed to actually bring up this effective customers acquisition plan by bringing in many of these customers, okay, online. Okay. Now we see the next generations of digital banks is actually typically focusing on building a next level of our customer experience. Typically, the key criteria is where you start off with a digital first experience. Okay, brick and mortar has been an option. Okay, and you can build a very hyper personalized customer experience to provide a superior customer engagement and customer experience in the way that you will be able to interact customer at the right moment with the right content and the right advice. Okay. You would often see that the banks is trying to actually evolve today, so they cannot just operate in silo. But what happened is the banks need to actually look into a strategic partnerships to bring in the value add services onto the banking platforms. And together from the banking platforms, we should be actually connect to the major ecosystems or established ecosystem in the market so that you get access to the e-commerce, the wallets in the markets, and the consumers through the merchants and distributions from all the partners counters. Okay, so that is where the values created by the next generations of banking. Okay, and the next is very commonly a digital bank would require a strategy to onboard a customer quicker and seamlessly. So this thanks to the technologies like ekycs that help us to do the facial recognitions and ID proving that allowing you to bring in customers at no risk. Okay, And lastly, is the most important part is the ability to launch a product faster in order to be relevant to the market and actually provide or service your customer better from time to time. Okay, so this is what an ideal digital bank is going to be. Okay, and in Malaysia's context, we are actually targeting on how to build your IT strategy to actually penetrate into the underserved and unserved markets. Okay, this is the main agenda put up by Bank Negara. Okay, so with that in mind, we bring to you the Digibank-in-a-box. Okay, thanks to the collaboration between Infopro, who provides the entire AI-driven banking solutions, together with TM1, which actually is powering up the Alpha Cloud Edge, and together with Huawei, who provide the cloud technologies to make this as a success. So together, we bring to you the Digibank-in-a-box, which is hoping to help you to go to market faster. We will allow you to set up your digital bank systems within 30 days. Okay, so with that, you get the speed to the market, and then you get the local presence. Okay, where TM Cloud Alpha Edge is basically locally hosted in Malaysia. You have less issues when it comes to Bank Negara approvals. And lastly, with the local experience that we have, we will get you connected to all the local services quickly and risk-free. Okay, so this is a package that is most suitable for all the applications, all the applicants who are actually looking at setting up a digital banks in Malaysia. So when it comes to a digital banks, okay, so how can we actually deliver it within 30 days? So basically, once you have it, you can spin out the entire configuration based on our templates in 30 days. And then you can start off with your sandbox testing, connecting to all the partner ecosystems, and build your personalized super app MVP. Okay, from there, once you are ready, so you are ready to go for the massive customer acquisitions. Okay, it is as simple as the 4 steps. Okay, now when it comes to actually modeling a new digital banks, okay, people may have concerns about a model bank, especially when it talks about a bank in a box, which is very rigid. Okay, so what we actually brings to you is a balance between a speed, give you a faster time to market with our pre-templatized configurations, which allows you to still configure to a large extent. And at the same time, we give you a high flexibility in personalizations to build a very unique business plan, really unique IT strategy to address your different market niche. Okay, so this is a well-balanced approach between a model banks and innovations that will help you to win the markets. Okay, so what is exactly in the box? Okay, so we bring to you the award-winning AI-driven digital banking platforms. So you have the entire platforms which has been actually recognized internationally, which we won several awards as listed here by World Islamic Fintech Awards and also Banking Tech Award to get, as well as APITA Awards. Okay, and you get the next generation's technology for banks. Okay, with that, okay, AI and data analytics come into core. So the use cases has been embedded everywhere in the systems. Okay, and you can run it entirely on the cloud, and it comes with API allowing you to build up your ecosystems and connect to fintechs or external effortlessly. And we bring to you the Agile and DevOps frameworks, allowing you to go to market faster, and also the flexible product factory, which we are very proud of with our experience in 32 countries. Okay, we have created a very comprehensive product factories, which at most of the time you will be able to configure a product without customizations. Of course, we give you a flexibility in the way that we will support you for the customization and tailoring in order to make your product more relevant in case our product factories cannot support your requirement. So AI-driven banking process is where we actually embedded within the banking systems. Okay, we actually putting AI to emphasize on 3 objectives: with greater customer engagement, lowering your operating costs, and improving your efficiencies in the operations. So we apply AI across back office, middle office, and the front office. So this is where we apply all the AI use cases by actually hosting them within a container, which we call it as an AI as a service, that we actually powering all the actually respective module with the AI. So what you will get is also beyond just the core banking. So you are getting a fully operational banking systems with a mix and match from over 50 modules that we actually offer to you, cutting across core banking, digital front-end customer experience, risk management and compliance, as well as AI-driven analytics. Okay. So in a nutshell, so this is a bird's eye view of what you can get. So it is basically pretty much like a Lego blocks, which allowing you to pick and choose and assemble only the relevant modules for your business requirements. So we support the digital experience. Okay, we support a conventional and Islamic core banking. We support a wide range of risk management products as well as a compliance. So you will find the risk management on the credit risk, market risk, operational risks included here as options, together with standards essential requirement like regulatory reporting, anti-money launderings, AI-based credit decisioning, and things like that. And at the bottom, it actually powered by the analytics, okay, with both business performance analytics as well as the customer analytics to build two things. One is to build a customer experience, knowing customer better, create insights, and be able to interact with customer more efficiently, okay, provide a recommendation at the right time. As far as the business performance, is helping the management or the product owner to actually monitor the product portfolio within the banks to make sure that you actually can create a sustainable and profitable business plans and actually execute according to the plans. Okay. On the technology side, you will get AI, data analytics, cloud, open API, and beyond banking services built into your full banking platforms. So this is what we call as AI-driven digital banking in a box, which we name it here as Digibank-in-a-box. Okay, the one-stop Digibank-in-a-box is basically comes with over 50 modules for you to pick and choose. And the strategies here is actually to build an unmatched customer's experience, building your online experience, your mobile experience, your fintech experience, and building the ecosystems. And as well as we are providing to you the full functionality required for compliance, risk management and compliance, as well as the core banking. So this allows you to run a bank effectively. But beyond this, okay, you get also the AI-driven, okay, capability here, but actually getting access into the data and analytics, and together with the AI efficiency with the use of machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing to improve the overall processes. So with this, it forms the new DNA for a leading digital banks. And we hope that together with you, we can help you to actually model and materialize this new DNA for your digital banks. Okay. So before we end, so basically, I'd just like to share that, okay, typically you would need a technology partner which is local and reliable to you, so that we can offer things like leading technologies, speed to the market with the domestic know-how, and have a strong in compliance and can together the usage of advanced technologies. So you actually making full use of the cloud, digital first, API, analytics, as well as the AI driven, which we have not seen anywhere else. And last but not least, we have our full range of Islamic banking modules available, supporting you from Islamic deposits to financing to treasury and trade financings. So you can just actually easily assemble and roll out these products very easily. Okay, so that concludes my slides, and I hope that together with you, we can build a better elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ike. Very informative information. Thank you for sharing with us. I guess the customer expectation is no longer a minor thing not to consider, because the customer expectation and customer demand is on the increase. How relevant is the bank to the customer nowadays is very important. And by providing a greater customer service, and also by providing an ecosystem where customers can do more with the bank, which I think is expected nowadays. And with what you're sharing with us, the convenience of digitalizing a bank, that's very important, where we can actually quickly set it up and go to the market. Right. With that, let me introduce our next speaker, Mr. Chai from Huawei, to share with us your thoughts, your information on this cloud. Sorry, Mr. Chai, I think we can't hear you. If you can just turn on your microphone, please. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mr. Chai.
Okay. Yeah. So there's one question that when in my conversations with bankers, they always bring up the case that banks are still as profitable as ever. So why change anything at all? Why even consider moving to the cloud? Why consider changing the way they do things? Because at the end of the day, a lot of bankers feel that technology is a fad, it will come and go. People still need to borrow money somehow, so that will remain unchanged throughout the years. Technology is just a fad. But we think that in the world going forward, yes, can you, is everyone able to hear me?
Yes, Mr. Chai, we are able to hear and see you.
Okay, yeah. So now, we believe that if you want to continue to grow in the future, and when I say grow, it's not just about the 2% growth that keeps in line with inflation, but significant growth that is ahead of the market. You will need technologies that radically change the world, the way you do things, okay, rather than have an incremental improvement year on year. So that is the key point that I want to make. And actually, all the advancements for disruption is already here, just waiting for mass adoption. And based on what I can see, you can be sure if you are the incumbent, someone else is actually actively working on it. So some banks like to adopt a late adopter strategy. They will say, let's watch everybody, and when the time is right, we can quickly copy and then be ahead of everyone else. But this strategy has its risks, and you definitely do not want to overshoot the runway, because then accidents can happen. So with this as a background, I want to bring everyone into today's discussion about why the cloud, and finally, how to move to the cloud. Where do you get started? Okay, so there is a need to reinvent every single day. So if you look at in 1995, the global Fortune 500, the top 10, and the list, the latest list last year, only one company has survived, and the other 9 is basically gone. Out of this 1995 list, one of these companies has actually gone away, does not exist anymore. So this is a call and some data to back up the need to reinvent. Okay, so and how can we help at Huawei? So in Huawei, people think of us as a mobile phone provider. We sell mobile phones, we sell networking equipment and some carrier equipment. But we actually have a number of other large divisions within the group. One is the enterprise business, where we sell solutions to large enterprises. The other one is a relatively new division called cloud business. We've been actively in the market for maybe the last 2 years, and this is new. But already this division is actually becoming very, very important to customers worldwide. So we are currently the second largest cloud in the Chinese market, and also number 5 globally. Last year, we were actually the fastest growing cloud in the world, right? And in a number of segments, we are already basically leading. Okay, so how we help our customers by doing a lot of basic R&D. So we have 96,000 plus R&D employees, and these employees is actually a lot of them are actually doing basic research in physics, chemistry, material sciences, even biological constructs, to store electrical impulses, all sorts of basic research. And the reason we do this is so that customers can actually build on top of us, and they don't have to repeat all this fundamental research. And for a lot of countries, it really doesn't make sense because they lack the scale and also basically know-how and all that to do all this. So we do all the heavy lifting, and this actually helps our customers. So in Malaysia, we actually have a tie-up with telecom called TM Cloud Alpha Edge. And this is part of Malaysia's latest My Digital Blueprint. So the cloud provider is TM Cloud Alpha Edge. Technology is powered by Huawei. I will not go into a lot of detail in this. I will let the next speaker, Mr. Ghadaffi, to bring in all the details about this. So basically, we have a local cloud. It runs all the advanced technologies that you need, from compute to storage to containers, AI, big data, and a whole suite of application services. Everything that you would ever need to actually build your applications in the cloud. Okay, so from our viewpoint, we believe that there are some things that you should know in order to help you make a decision on why move to the cloud. So the first is, this is our estimates for the year 2025. We have done a study. We went to basically all our customers all over the world, everywhere from the US, Europe, the developing world, Africa, Middle East, South America. And we, based on the orders that we have and also the estimates, in 2025, we estimate that about 58% of the world's population will have access to 5G technologies. Okay, so your connectivity is going to improve dramatically. And out of these, about 80% of applications are expected to be cloud-based. So if you are a developer today, or you're planning to build an app that you can use over the next couple of years, you need to get ready for the cloud. And that is why we say that the intelligent world is approaching faster than expected, and you need to be ready for it. Okay, so we are still in 2021. A lot of customers still need to cross what we call the digital transformation chasm. Customers are still thinking of workloads that is running on-premise. They need to move this to some kind of hosting, but they're still thinking in terms of compute, storage, and hosting and networking. This is actually a paradigm that is increasingly becoming past its usefulness, because most of the traffic and applications that you see today are actually based on an application layer. You think in terms of application and not in terms of physical resources like servers and networking. So in the next few examples, you will see this clearer. So enterprises at this point need to think in terms of how to transform, how to get over this chasm. And the way to do it is by going cloud native, building applications in a cloud native way, and also create value for industries. So how do you do this? You leverage the power of data, you accelerate AI adoption within the industry, and then this has the net effects of boosting productivity. And at the end of the day, more productivity equals more value created for the industry. So just to recap, in traditional IT, you have capabilities like networking, storage, compute, and but you need to adopt new technologies like AI, big data, 5G, edge computing. And how do you actually experiment with this? If you want to develop some new smart city equipment or technologies to sell as a vendor, or if you're a bank, you want to integrate your banking services into a new smart city, for example, you cannot go and buy an entire city, right? But cloud provides you the capability to actually do some experimentation, and then when you're ready, you can actually scale it up. So the next stage of software development for financial services will be moving from on-premise, and you have services that you migrate to the cloud, to actually services that are born and developed in the cloud, using different design patterns and different paradigms that is only enabled by the newer cloud technologies. So things like containers, things like function as a service. This would be new ways of thinking about applications. Okay, so more and more governments and enterprises are actually choosing Huawei for upgrading their systems. So now you know that governments increasingly are having e-government services. And in China, the Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen e-government clouds are actually running on Huawei. So Huawei Cloud is not a toy application. They actually power 3 of the largest cities in China, okay, as well as things like airports, ports, and many other applications. So it's a real serious workload here. There'll be 1 or 2 examples that I will show you in a bit. So in a nutshell, looking at the way our customers design systems, and we have considered the Western and also the Chinese application stack, we actually have what we call a Cloud Native 2.0, a framework to think about how to develop software going forward. And then depending on which type of application, you have different services and also different design patterns. So this is something that we can share with you at a later stage, but this is just a rough overview, okay, on a new way of building applications. Okay, one significant customer reference in the financial services sector is the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. So it's one of the largest stock exchange in the world, top 10, and relative to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, its size is probably about, depending on the daily market movement, it's probably about 80% of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So a huge stock exchange, larger than any in the ASEAN market. And they actually, in 2019, they actually started moving to the cloud and started designing the entire stock exchange in a cloud-native manner. So that's where they are today. And the main learning from this is that they have changed from a resource-centered way of thinking, meaning thinking in terms of networking, servers, storage, to application-centered way of thinking. So the smallest unit of building block will be an application instead of thinking about the servers and networking that run it. So if you like, if you are familiar with the term software-defined networking, it is always mentioned that the application layer will create the greatest value going forward. And cloud is actually the application layer for SDN. You can think of it that way. Okay, so one more point that I want to bring forward is that there's a lot of talk about AI now. And if you are doing AI on-premise today, I really believe that you may be doing it wrong, unless you have very specific reasons to do so. So the first thing is AI is shaping every industry. Banks are relatively advanced in their usage of technologies, especially in Asia, where a lot of banks are actually using it for credit scoring, for especially credit scoring, and then looking at sort of non-performing loans, right? So the main users. And Huawei has a full stack, all scenario AI stack called Model Arts. This is the application that is actually challenging the American AI stack for supremacy in the AI space. We use this to run all sorts of research projects, and we have actually won a large number of awards. So we are number one in a lot of major areas, okay, just by using this stack. So all this comes to you when you actually use the cloud and experiment with the cloud. On-premise, you'll find it hard to actually have this all in place. Okay, so allows you experimentation, and so that takes us to the final step. How do I move to the cloud? So you have seen a few reasons why you should move to the cloud, because you get advanced technologies, you get to use a lot of things that you actually cannot build yourself. And we talk to customers. A lot of customers have different reasons why they want to move to the cloud. There are some obvious advantages like flexible commercial models, faster time to market, and all that. So once you have decided on the reason why you want to move to the cloud, then you want to know how. Okay, so in Huawei, we actually have what we call a simple cloud adoption framework. This is different from the typical enterprise cloud adoption framework that they tell you to transform the entire company wholesale at the same time. So we find that a lot of customers find that it's too complicated. We have a simpler one for customers to migrate workload by workload. Okay, we are happy to actually provide you some consultancy on this at a later stage, and especially if you will sign up for our consulting session, we are happy to share more with you. And then how it's positioned is that the Huawei Simple Cloud Adoption Framework. These are some tools that you use. It's actually to deliver a single business outcome. So you apply the Cloud Adoption Framework one time, then you get one business outcome. Okay, it's not an enterprise transformation, but to keep it simple, to allow customers to get started and then get value out of whatever they are doing. So finally, if you look at it, the cloud adoption framework always starts with a business case. Okay, you define your goals and all that, and then finally you define your cloud computing architecture to suit those goals. And we will then map the stages of the architecture to a specific service. So 3 layers, that's how we build up this cloud adoption framework. And this allows you to deliver business outcomes fast. Sometimes within 2 weeks, you can see results already. Okay, so yeah, so this is what I want to bring forward to you. I hope that we can speak further later to talk about how we can actually deliver a single business outcome to you, okay, based on this cloud adoption framework. So just some flavor. There's a lot more to talk about when we talk about moving to the cloud. But today, this is what we have time for. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Chai. Thank you for the insight in how the cloud has progressed and sharing with a reference site where cloud is being used, confidently. And I guess with the solution provider and also with the capability of cloud, the finance industries, the banking industries need to seriously consider moving their applications or moving their solutions into a cloud environment where, besides being more cost efficient, again with AI technology, as Mr. Chai mentioned, many things can be done quickly and fast to the market. Right. With that, let me present you the next presenter. It's Mohd Ghadaffi from TM Malaysia, where we touch on banking safely on cloud. Ghadaffi.
Okay, thank you very much, Roslan, and a very good day. I personally hope that everyone is in a safe and healthy condition at this point of time. So we have been hearing from 2 of our speakers from Infopro regarding Digibank-in-a-box and also the technology supporting it from Huawei Cloud Adoption Framework. Well, I'm here now to complement the strategic ecosystem statement in which you are able to banking safely on the cloud through a comprehensive and a secure infrastructure provided by TM1. Now, before I proceed to share my slides and also continuing the session today, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mohd Ghadaffi, and I'm the Vertical Director in charge of Banking and Finance Sales in TM1. And it's my pleasure to be part of the webinar today alongside with our strategic partner speaker from Infopro and Huawei. So now let me share my slide. So Roslan, is it clear to you from your end?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, there will be 3 main agenda covering my presentation today. First and foremost, I will set the context of Telecom Malaysia as the national service provider, especially in supporting my digital initiative, the core infrastructure capabilities which will enable you to banking safely on the cloud, and also our value proposition to the market. Now, I would like to bring your attention to our TM1 Cloud Alpha readiness in order to support the My Digital initiative, which has been announced by our Prime Minister on the 18th of February this year. Now, as you all can see, that Telecom Malaysia Berhad is the only cloud service provider that has been appointed in My Digital, alongside with the Google, Microsoft, and also AWS. Now, My Digital is the Malaysian digital economic blueprint that will chart the growth trajectory of Malaysian digital economy development. And it is not only a blueprint comprises of action plan, which adopted by the Malaysian as a whole, but also to complement the 12th Malaysian plan and shared prosperity vision of 2030. So that is how strategic it is. Now, there is a question why Telecom Malaysia has been chosen as the local cloud service provider to support My Digital. So the next slide will explain to you where we are today. From the historical perspective, Telekom Malaysia Berhad has been serving the nation from 1943, which is a few years back before the Independence Day of Malaysia. And today, we are empowered by our well-diverse presence and also comprehensive network coverage. And today, if you can see from the slide, we are supporting 2.8 million of home users, 411,000 of small and medium enterprises, and of course, more than 11,000 enterprises and public sectors. Not only that, in order to become a preferred digital Malaysia service provider, we are currently serving more than 500 telcos or service provider, not only nationwide, but it also covers the Asia-Pac and global as well. And we are being supported by our network coverage. In today, we have approximately 560,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables, which is more than 10,000 round of this world. And yet, we are still reserving 246,000 kilometers of copper cables. And rest assured, these are the areas that we are addressing in order to have Malaysia as a country which is fully fiber in 5 years to come. And we are serving more than 60 countries via more than 20 submarine cables and also 7 local and 4 international submarine cable landing stations nationwide. Not only that, today in Malaysia, we have approximately 6 data centers that is supporting our digital infrastructure, including one that we are operating right now in Hong Kong. And to add to the statement, today we are also serving banking and finance as a specific verticals. Now, coming from the bread and butter of our business or the traditional connectivity infrastructure, we are serving more than 96% of the BFSI market in Malaysia, which is mainly to support the critical services in the likes of connectivity for the branches nationwide, for all the banks and financial institutions, the ATM machine, the POS merchant nationwide, and also the third-party connectivity link, which is owned by the financial institution in Malaysia. Now, how we ensure that we are complying to whatever that is required and requested by the banking and finance industry in Malaysia. And this is where we are referring specifically to the RMIT compliance, which has been produced by Bank Negara in July 2019 and implemented in January 2020. You see, in TM1, we are having a specific team, consists of the product, sales, and also the solution team, which is specifically looking into how Telekom Malaysia can meet the RMIT compliant in order to enable our banking and finance customer to obtain the approval from Bank Negara Malaysia. We are there as a service provider, and we are ensuring that the services from the data center to the cloud, to the network, and also the security that wrapping the services is meeting and exceeding the RMIT compliance. So from the perspective of the access control, the cloud services, even the data center, this is where we are in also ongoing engagement with Bank Negara on quarterly basis to ensure that we are not certified because we are service provider, but to well inform Bank Negara the progress that we are making, especially in ensuring the service that rendered to the banking and finance customer meets the RMIT requirement. So from the compliance up to the technical infrastructure and capabilities, these are the example of TM1 infrastructure that exceed the technical requirement that is set by the Bank Negara in the RMIT. So from the technical ops, cybersecurity management, and tech audit, this is where we have a specific team that is looking into this matter from time to time. And rest assured, the continuous engagement with Bank Negara will not only benefit us as a service provider for the nation, but it also to get them to familiarize with whatever the services that you are rendering from TM or TM1 as the banking and financial services that is operating in our country. So when you refer to the Cloud Alpha, everything starts from the data center that we own. Because today we have a data center that is currently located in a prime location. It is hyper-connected. For example, we have one data center which is Tier 3 certified in Cyberjaya, and another one is in Iskandar Putri. Now, these two are highly connected, live, and we call it a twin core data center. I will be explaining it further in the next slide. And we are also meeting the global standard and certification that will allow the global hyperscalers to host with us in our data center. So when it comes to the cloud services, data center as the mother IT infrastructure will enable you to provide or to enable you to perform the virtual private cloud, hosted private cloud, whether it is on prem or public or also deployed on a hybrid model. Not only that, it will also enable what we call the Internet of Things, whereby the infrastructure ecosystem is allowing you from the system of physical things embedded with sensors, software, electronics, and also the connectivity to allow all of you to perform a better exchanging information with other connected services nationwide or globally. And not only that, we are also managing the customer based on the vertical segment in which I am here today, that we have a specific team in TM1 who is taking care of banking and finance vertical. A little bit about data center, the most very important element in performing a very highly secured infrastructure. Now, today we have 3 data centers which is located in Cyberjaya, in Brickfield, Kuala Lumpur, and in Iskandar Putri, which is Tier 3 certified by the Uptime Institute. Now, these 3 data centers is linking the core data center through a 100 gigabit super highway connection with less than 4 milliseconds of latency time. So it can serve as a primary or even secondary in case if the financial institution would like to adopt it as a DC and DRC. I am not only promoting the fact that it is also uptime tier 3 certified, but it is also meeting the compliance of TVRA and also globally certified with industry data center standards. Not only that, our Kelang Valley Data Center and Iskandar Putri Data Center is also connected to Malaysian Internet Exchange. And this can be found in My IX portal, and also it has been certified by Bank Negara as well. Now, when it comes to connecting the infrastructure to the rest of the world, this is where we will have what we call a direct connection to the ekyc Data Center of Singapore. It is connected via a diversity link, the first link and the second link. So second link bridge with the round trip delay for both, which is less than 5 milliseconds. So the purpose is to increase the service availability and to ensure the quality service that we provide to the customer that would like to connect to the hyperscalers via ekyc of Singapore. So our presenters or the earlier speakers has been touched on the not only Digibank-in-a-box, but also the infrastructure that has been deployed on top of the technology by Huawei. So in a nutshell, when it comes to our Cloud Alpha, we are able to provide the services based on either virtual, dedicated private cloud, hybrid, multi-cloud, or the deployment models that is also customized and desired by the customer. So today, the partnership that we have with Huawei and few of our strong esteemed partners, such as Infopro, will enable us also to provide you with a complete and secure services that will enable also you to support the big data and artificial intelligence, IoT platform services as well, and other industry cloud platform that you wish to use in your environment. So these are almost the same as what I have explained. Directly from the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or even anything as a service, we are there, we are prepared, and we believe the platform that we provide is not only secure, but able to meet and exceed the requirement that you wanted to put upfront. So TM is positioned today, if you refer to the statement that we have in My Digital, is the only enabler of hyper-connected ecosystem for business digital journey that is importantly meeting with these 2 requirements. Number 1 is the data sovereignty, and number 2 is the data residency. Now, when it comes to deploying on-premise or on public cloud, both approach has its own challenges. If you look from the on-prem deployment, of course, the investment cost is going to be very high. Also, the underutilized resources is one of the key issues, together with the high cost maintenance or the technology obsolescence. Same goes with the public cloud, high in terms of the data transfer costs. People were talking about local support, data residency issue, and this is how we're going to address that. Because in TM1, we will provide end-to-end cloud solution together with our esteemed partners. And it is also a platform that will be addressing data residency. It is hosted in a highly secure TM1 data center within Malaysia itself. We do provide professional services capabilities as much as the hybrid cloud capabilities together with our esteemed partners as well. So, before I end my presentation, this is a very important value proposition to the market. First and foremost, Telecom Malaysia has been supporting the nation for more than 30 years. Even before I was born, even before all the speakers been born in Malaysia. So we have been supporting Malaysia as a single telecommunication service provider brand. We do provide premium support for domestic and international customers. Supporting data residency and sovereignty perhaps is the most critical statement that will enable you to banking safely on the cloud together with us and also our partner. And of course, we realize that that growing from the organic perspective will not help Telecom Malaysia to grow further, but we are leveraging on a strong ecosystem, and it has been manifested today with the partnership from Infopro and also Huawei this call today. So with that, I would like to end my presentation today. So to everyone, stay safe. Please follow the SOP. Have a safe and productive day ahead. Thank you so much. Over to you, Roslan.
Thank you, Ghadaffi. Thank you. Very interesting to see how the linkage of partnership between. Okay, thank you, Ghadaffi, for sharing with us. Indeed, a very insightful information shares with us, and that's where the jigsaw is complete, because, or the puzzle is complete, because we see TM involvement, Huawei involvement, and Infopro involvement. Then it's basically a one complete package for the digital bank to take off quickly. Right, with that, I present over to Dr. Kali, who's the Global Director of Sales and Marketing for Infopro, to share his thoughts and his view. Dr. Kali.
Thank you, Chair Roslan. To our distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure for me to say a few words at the end of this webinar event. First of all, we are grateful for having had the opportunity to organize this event together with TM1 and Huawei. In fact, this is the first time we have joined forces in organizing such a webinar virtually. A special thank you goes to Mr. Chong from Infopro, Ghadaffi from TM1 with such a elaborative explanation on TM coverage in Malaysia, and Mr. Chai from Huawei for giving a good insights about cloud, especially on Huawei clouds. A lot of experience that you have brought in to share from China, for being a wonderful, for being a wonderful panel of speakers, for giving a valuable insights, and especially your general sharing of times, experience with us. I believe everyone will agree with me. It has been a very informative session, and I, in fact, had a terrific time on this webinar. Not forgetting my heartiest thanks to all our participants today for allocating your time to listen to us today. Without your participation, it will not be a wonderful webinar. Finally, my warmest gratitude and thanks to Encik Roslan, the MC for today, and main organizer team from Infopro, together not forgetting our co-organizer, Puan Azida, GM of Marketing and TM1 team, and Miss Evelyn, Marketing Director and Huawei team. Without their great assistance, this webinar event will not have been possible to arrange. Before I close this event, I would like just to share a famous quote from Charles Darwin. For those who perceive digital transformation as a journey, quote from Charles Darwin: "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change." So come speak and reach out to us by securing a seat with the registration that Encik Roslan has shared to learn more on how we can help you to transform your bank and financial institutions to Digibank-in-a-box in 30 days. Together with TM1 and Huawei, we are glad to provide consultation and advice to you. Do secure your seat because it's only a limited seat that's available. Now that we have come to the end of this event, on behalf of Infopro, I would like to call for a close to this webinar event. Thank you for joining us here today. Stay safe always and follow SOP at this current pandemic time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Yes, agreed. Indeed, I agree with you that the presentation today by the three panelists is very informative and very close to the environment, the banking environment. And again, I would like to share with you some PowerPoint highlight, just in case if there is a requirement for you all to contact us again, for any of the participants to contact us again, please scan in the QR code, and then from there we'll take it on. We'll be having on 31st May, a Monday, from 9 to 5 p.m. a 20 minutes session, a consultation, online consultation. We are ready to answer to any of your questions, your requirement, and your needs. I think there'll be representative from Infopro, from Huawei, and also from PM to be on board. So do scan the QR code. Do let us know what is your specific needs. I see from the chat just now that someone asking for the presentation slide and all that. Yes, we will compile after this. And please drop us your email if you wanted to have more information. We'll be more than happy to take it on board and to pass whatever information that is required from the relevant. Or do you need to communicate to us? That's not an issue. Even if you have after 31st May, with Indonesia digital bank environment closing towards the end of June, do quickly give us a shout through emails or call our general line or call anyone from any one of us. We'll be more than happy to consult, to do the consultation. I think it is eminent that you out there, the participants, especially those eyeing the digital bank in Malaysia, to have this information readily available as time is not on your part, as time is running out quickly. Yeah. Right, with that, to the panelists, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. To all the attendees, thank you very much for signing on and joining our webinar. Be on the lookout on our future webinar. Again, just for information, this webinar will be posted in FB and also our social media. Do visit our social media, and if you wanted to know, again, to repeat yourself. But then again, I encourage you to actually scan the QR code and get in touch with us, where it will be more specific to your need, your requirement, and be more details in our discussion. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. Stay safe, take care of the SOP, and always wear your mask, yeah? Okay, all right, bye-bye.